So you got a good city of Atlanta. Look at that. Got a good view of the city right there. So that's Atlanta for you guys. Just want to show you. I'm about to get off of this exit. I had to order the Waymo. Get this over with. So I see everybody talking about Waymo's taking over Atlanta. It's taking over Orlando. Well, guess what, guys? Waymo is a lot harder to get than you think. I got flagged for suspicious activity because I tried to order a Waymo, trying to do Comfort Electric back to back and canceling just to get a Waymo, just to give you guys an inside look what it looks like. So stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna break down Waymo and the self-driving threat that you guys keep posting on Reddit, everywhere else. Stay tuned, guys. Like and subscribe. Let's get into this episode. I'm actually not that close yet. I'm literally about 30 miles from IKEA. IKEA is a good core location to order the Waymo. This is actually the second time I've come up here. That should go to show you guys how determined I am to do an episode to try to help everybody and try to show you guys stuff, because literally Atlanta's 6 hours. I left here at like 12:30. I left Jacksonville. I'm up here, it's like 7 or 6:50. So I drove about, I'm gonna end up driving 12 hours. I drove 12 hours like a week ago. I had some difficulties and now I'm back again. So, you know, twice 24 hours of driving, that's a lot more miles on my car. I didn't make any money doing it. I'll probably do some Lyft rides up here. I'm probably not gonna get back home till about 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's, you know, part of the process. Just kind of show you guys, look, I'm willing to do what I got to do to make a story, to film something, to bring you guys some information, try to help you out. So hopefully everybody enjoys this episode, and let me keep driving because I'm kind of stuck in traffic. I'm only about 30 miles away, but it's heavy traffic, which, you know, seeing in Atlanta, it's just how it is in Atlanta. And Atlanta people drive crazy compared. Everybody thinks, oh, Jacksonville drivers are horrible. Yeah, well, you know, everywhere's got horrible drivers. I drive a lot. I know. Don't matter if you're in Orlando, don't matter if you're in Miami, don't matter if you're in Atlanta. Except for Atlanta, they drive faster and it's a lot more crazy. So, yeah, I think Atlanta tops all of them when it comes to bad driving and just traffic and just everything in general. So all you guys who drive in Atlanta, I got to give it to you. It's definitely a task trying to navigate all this. But guarantee probably, I wonder if you get higher prices, because you do know that once you're stuck in traffic, if it takes longer than that estimated price, the price does go up. So I wonder if you guys get a little bit, see a lot more price increases due to traffic and stuff. That would definitely be an interesting thing to check out. But I'll see you guys later. So don't forget to sign up for Gridwise. Since I'm in Atlanta, I'm going to give you guys a little inside knowledge to show you guys how it would be if I was driving here in Atlanta. Well, I pull up to Atlanta. I don't know how busy that airport is. Well, look at here. 6,000 passengers landing at 8 p.m. So that goes to show you guys, any airport, anywhere you go, that's what Gridwise is good for. So hit that link down below and sign up for Gridwise. 14-day free trial. Try it out. It's $9.99 a month. I use it. Tracks your earnings across multiple apps, gives you events, lets you know what areas are better to work in those areas, and it gives you the best information when it comes to an airport. It lets you know how many flights are landing, lets you know how many flights are leaving. It gives you the flight details. It tells you how many people on each seat going where, coming from where. So guys, that's why Gridwise is a great app. I've used it since I started. So click that link below. It's an affiliate link. It does help out, and I do appreciate everybody that's done it. Thank you guys. Enjoy the episode. So I spent hours in Midtown, Buckhead, over there by IKEA, Peachtree Street, downtown Atlanta, underground Atlanta, trying to order a Waymo. Now, it took me about 20 tries, never got matched one. Then they flagged my account, suspicious activity, which is fine. I mean, I understand why they did it. I should have kind of spaced it out more, maybe would have had more chances, but at the same time, drove there 6 hours, 2 weeks in a row. I had to drive 6 hours back. I couldn't Uber while I was up there because I'm in another state. Could have Lyft, but such a long period to get there, trying to do the story. Well, it's not that easy. You think, well, oh, Waymo's here, it's a threat. Well, I'm sure if you work in Orlando or if you work in Atlanta, more so probably in Atlanta. Orlando, you're just now seeing it because it just got there. But say you're in Atlanta and you're driving around and you see the Waymos, they're downtown. But what do you realize? What does Waymo service? How does it work? Well, Waymo's in a few different cities. Waymo's in Phoenix, Arizona. Waymo's in Silicon Valley, of course. It's in San Francisco, and it's in Atlanta. Now, you have it in Orlando, but in Orlando, all they're doing is testing. Now, they might have it in a few other cities, but if they're just testing, that means they're not accepting rides. So, if they're not accepting rides, how could it be a threat? Well, it's not really a threat yet. But how long is that threat? How long is it going to be? That's a very good question, and that's something I'm trying to answer in this episode for you guys. So, Waymo only services 5 different cities, actually 6, but one of them not really that much. So, but then again, I guess you could count it. So you got Phoenix, Arizona, you got Austin, Texas, you got Los Angeles, you got San Francisco, and you've got Silicon Valley, which is only like 27 square miles, and you've got Atlanta. Now, Atlanta's like 65 square miles, so that's like 6 different places. Now, Orlando, they're testing, that's different. So think about it like this, right? Those little small areas that they do, I'm going to show you a screen recording up top right here. You've got like 315 miles. I believe it's going to be in San Francisco, 65 in Atlanta, 27 in Silicon Valley. I think it's like 89, I believe, in Los Angeles, 37 in Austin, and then 55 in Phoenix. No, San Francisco. Phoenix was 315. So Phoenix is actually the biggest one that's got the most. But now think about it like this. Atlanta, I believe it's Atlanta. There's one other one that has, you have to use the Uber app to do it. Now, Phoenix and some of the first ones that did it, you do it through Waymo. So when you do it through Waymo, you're actually you have a better chance of actually getting a Waymo. You're actually going to get a Waymo, but the problem is how long you're going to have to wait. How many cars do they have in rotation? Well, I don't really know that, but there's not a whole lot. In Atlanta, I think I've seen 3 Waymos, and for all I know, they could have been the same one, literally driving back and forth, because they're all the same color, all they got the same markings. You don't have a driver, so you can't tell if there's a different one than the one that just passed by. It could be doing a circle, it could have the same people, I don't know. So it's hard to tell how many cars they have in their fleet unless you actually go to where they're at, to where they park them at the end of the day. Or I don't even know if they do them they might be doing them 24/7. They are electronic. They do have to go and charge them at some point. They do have to change tires. They do have to do certain types of maintenance. They are expensive vehicles. They are a luxury vehicle. They do have a lot of neat features. They do have the LiDAR. They got radar. They got 360 view. You know, they got the little thing on the top that puts your name. That's how you know to get in the vehicle. There's a lot of different things they have. That's how you, that makes them stand out. They are nice vehicles. From what I hear, the insides are pretty nice. I really wanted to give you a look from the inside, but trying to get the Waymo, I couldn't do it. And then to go somewhere where I could order through Waymo, well, that's a long way away from where I live. I just didn't have the time to do it at the moment. And even then, I wouldn't even know. It could have run into some other problem, because, you know, for some reason, trying to do this episode, I just kept hitting one wall after another. But that's just part of going through doing content. But is it a threat? How long is it going to be a threat? Leave some in the comments. Tell me how you guys feel about it, because I would like to know. Honestly, I feel like it's going to be about 10, 15, maybe 20 years. And why would I say that? Well, there's a lot of problems that still Waymo has, and there's a lot of issues that you guys don't know about it, and then there's a lot of reasons why you should have a driver. So let me break it all down for you, and let me explain to you why I say that there's going to be 15, 20 years. So what is it about autonomous vehicles that people like? Well, the fact there's no driver, there's quiet, there's peace, they don't have to worry about small talk. So that's a nice little touch. It's a comfort luxury vehicle. Well, that's a nice little touch. It's something new, you know, there's no driver. This is kind of cool. I'm riding this, look at me type of thing. Well, that's kind of cool. But honestly, what about the pros or the cons of it? So think about it like this, all right? What if you leave something in your car? Well, you contact support, Waymo support. They can get the car, get the stuff back to you. But think about it. The next person that gets in that car, because there's not a driver, what kind of chance will it be that they'll actually not steal whatever that item is because there's nobody in the car, than they would to actually just leave it in there and let support bring it back to you? because you know how many people left stuff in my car. The next passenger was honest because I have a dash cam. Because I'm in the car, they gave it to me immediately, and I gave it back to that person. Well, you know, a lot of people, if they don't feel like they're being watched or if they can get away with it, they're going to try and do something. They're going to get away with it. They feel like they can get away with it. They're probably going to try and take it. So that's what you have to think about that. Now, I've also heard stories about people getting sick while they stop the Waymo to do like emergency button, get out the car, throw up, whatever. They get out of the car, it's cool. The next person ain't got to worry about it. But the other person gets out the car with them, tries to comfort them, just doing the human thing, the friendly thing of, hey, are you okay? And the Waymo senses nobody's in the car, takes off. Now all your stuff's in the car. So there's a few things that happen now with the Waymo, with autonomous vehicles, that a lot of people aren't ready for and never thought of. What about bad weather? What about if you get in the car, you're in a new city? Say I was in Atlanta. I don't really know Atlanta. I haven't been there in a while. And I want to know, where's a good place to go eat? Where's a place to go out at? What time are the Braves in town? Are they winning? What, all kinds of stuff just that a local driver would know. Well, Waymo's not going to know. So what do you got to do? You got to Google it. You got to ask ChatGPT. Well, that's not always going to be the best thing. It's not the same as asking your driver, hey, what's the best spot to eat? Well, yeah, you could Google it, but they're going to give you different reviews that are probably paid for. That driver, he's going to know some good spots. He's going to know some local spots. He's going to know local stuff that the Google's not going to really know. He's going to know different things about the city because he probably grew up there. He's probably been there for a while, or he knows other people that are from there. So all that comes with experience and comes with growing up in an area. All of those little tidbits of information really make a difference. That's why having a driver is a lot better than not having a driver. And I'm not saying sometimes it wouldn't be nice to, I don't feel like talking to anybody, I've had a long day, or I got to do some work, and maybe you want to ride without a driver. I can understand that. But everything's all good and dandy until something happens and you don't have a driver to help you out. You can't call that driver and say, hey, I left my phone in there, can you bring it back? Or I left my backpack in there, can you bring it back? Or my wallet fell out of my pocket, can you bring it back? And yeah, some of them might give you a little hassle about it, but at least they're going to bring it back, right? Well, trying to contact Waymo, what if you don't have a phone? How are you going to get a hold of them? Now you don't know what the account number is. You don't know what all this information you don't have. You can't get because your phone's in that car. Otherwise, if you just had your friend's phone, you could call your phone and the driver would pick it up and say, hey, can I get it from you, please? Or when can I get it? Whatever. That's the point of having a driver. That's why it makes a difference. Now, when you look at it from Uber's point of view, they're trying to save money. They don't have to pay us to pick you up so they can lower the rates, but they can also raise the rates. Why? Because there should be no surge. There should be no reason to make a driver go to this side of town or go to that side of town because it's just a robot. It can literally, you just say, hey, pick up that person. They're going to go. It's not tired. It doesn't need any gas, doesn't need anything but a charge, maybe some tires, a little bit of maintenance here and there, but all that stuff does cost a lot of money. Those vehicles are expensive. They're Jaguars. So the cost of them do cost a lot. The maintenance, all the charging, all that. Only difference is they can run 24/7. We can't. Only reason why we can't, well, that's because the law won't let us. But I've already been that with the Uber effect. I already told you guys how you can still multi-app, you can do all that. So they're not worried about it. They know if you're not driving, somebody else is driving. But their goal is to save money by not having to pay us. And then their goal is to either, they're going to have full control of the rates. They can lower it, they can raise it, they can say, oh, well, we don't have that many vehicles out right now, they're getting charged or whatever. Well, really, they're all driving around, but they just want to raise the rate. They want to create a surge. But then you would think, well, there would be no more surge. Well, how do you know that? When there's all autonomous cars, you don't think they're going to be a surge? They're going to figure out a way to get you. So that's the difference. That's the pros and cons of having a driver and not having a driver. Now, another thing too is you cannot add a stop and you cannot do shared rides, no Uber Pet and no Uber XL. So you've got to remember this. When you order autonomous vehicle, you can't bring your dog with you. You can't bring your service animal with you. You can't share a ride and do the cheaper price and have multiple people get in it so you could save a few bucks. You can't order an Uber XL, so if you got 4 or more people, you can't get in an autonomous vehicle. You're going to have to order 2 different ones. And then, those little things make a difference. So yeah, you might think, well, it's just me, I don't have a dog, or I don't care about share rides. Okay, well, you might be that exception to the rule, but there's a good number of people that might have a dog, might have a service animal, might have a group of people at some point in time, and might just want to do a shared ride because they need to save some money. Well, all those options, they're out the window, all because autonomous vehicles. So until they change all that in the future, I don't know. They might have a law where they have to have a service dog, but then again, if you have a service animal come in the vehicle, or if you have a dog gets dirty, well, there's no driver to clean it out. What if you get sick in the car and throw up? Well, I can't go clean it out for you and stop for the night. No, that vehicle is going to keep going until 5 people complain. But think about it. You just paid for autonomous ride. You get in there, throw up all over the car, all over the seat, all over the back seat. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to clean up yourself? No. You're going to cancel the ride, but you're running late to work? No, it's an inconvenience. Well, that's part of dealing with no driver. Fact is, that car could be super dirty. There's nobody to clean it up. You know how many times when I do bar hopping trips, how I vacuum out in between, say, 3, 4, 5 rides real quick when I stop? Well, I get to clean it out real quick. I can vacuum it out. I can double check. It gives me a moment. Or the fact that I got that pause button and I pause in between rides, I can look back there. I can check, make sure it's clean. But if there is no driver, you can't do that. So that's the issue. That's the problem. Without a driver, there's a lot of little things that can't be done until they get sent back to the warehouse or they go back to charge. So how long does that battery life last to where they're not going to get cleaned out or not? And then that's just depending on the guy at the shop, if he feels like cleaning or not. Maybe he feels like he ain't getting paid enough and he's like, I don't feel like cleaning the 100th car out today. I don't feel like doing it. I'm not riding in that car. Well, all those little things, that goes into the fact that without having a driver, well, things are going to be a lot different. It's going to be more like public transportation than a luxury ride. So always remember that. Now, I haven't been in one. I haven't, I've met a few people that have, never really heard anything about it, but that's just stuff coming from a driver's perspective. Who cleans it, how often, and then what happens if you get sick or the last person gets sick and throws up, or what if you step in dog poop and then walk in the car and now that car smells like nobody's to clean it out. So all of those little things that you could never think of gonna happen, but there's no driver to fix it. There's no driver to clean it. There's no driver to do this or to do that. Yeah, you don't have to talk to them, but at the same time, you could order a comfort ride and put quiet preferred, and I'm not gonna talk to you. Or I can get the vibe from you that you don't want to talk because you got your earbuds in. It ain't that hard, but that's the thing. That's the difference between having a driver and not having a driver. So is it a threat? Well, that's the thing. Waymo's got a limited fleet because they're expensive cars. So take an example. I took 20 tries. I tried to order a ride within a couple hours with no success every time I got matched to a driver. So one, that goes to show there's a lot of comfort electric drivers that are driving around Atlanta. So obviously it's not much of a threat because they're getting rides. They're getting matched to me more than the Waymo was, and I was trying to get a Waymo. Then you got weather conditions. When it's bad weather, they're going to pull off the road. Now, I'm not saying if it's got bad weather, I'm not going to stop driving, but there's always going to be somebody out there that's like, it's not too bad. I got new tires. I got this. I'll drive around and pick them up. It's always going to need, somebody's going to need a ride. And they know there's going to be a surge. There's going to be a temp. There's going to be somebody that's going to say, you know what? I can get you there safely. I'm going to do it. They're going to give me $30 surge. I got you. I'll be there in a minute. So you got to think about stuff like that. It's based off of cameras. Well, it rains a lot, stuff like that. It's going to be hard to see because of the cameras. What if somebody runs out front of the car? How quick can it stop? Well, a good question. What if a squirrel runs out? What if a little kid runs out? What if a ball runs out? There's a lot of little things. That's the reason why they're still testing. Like, they've been testing this stuff since 2018. It's 2025. Actually, they've been testing since 2009. I take that back, my bad. 2018 is when they started launching, giving actual rides. But 2009 is when they started testing. That's when they were doing it with Google, all that, Waymo. So think about it. 2009, 2025. How many years is that? I want to say, what is that, 16 years? That's a long time to be testing. And they're still testing. Like, 16 years, you ain't got that many places, you ain't got that many square miles yet that are getting service. You're only doing 250,000 rides a week. How long's Uber been around and they're doing how many rides a day? Way more than 250,000. So that goes to show you guys, it's still a ways out. Yeah, is it a threat? Well, at some point, someday, yeah, it's going to be a threat. And the prices are probably going to fluctuate. They're going to get lower, they're going to get higher. And that's why I always try to say, if you want to do this full time, go Uber Premier, go Uber Black, do your private business, get commercial insurance. But you got to save up to do it, or get another job. Start a different business. This isn't a line of work that's going to be, hey, I'm going to retire to be the Uber driver. I'm going to retire. No, you might be a retired and doing Uber. That's different. But you're not going to retire from Uber. You're not going to get a pension. So what can you think about it? How long is it going to be? Well, honestly, I say 15, 20 years. Now, I could be off for 5 years, a couple of years. I could be off. I'm not saying exactly I'm going to be right, but I see 15, 20 years. I mean, it's already been 16 years. This is as far as they've gotten already. Yeah, with AI and different technology, it's kind of going along faster, so it might speed up a little bit. That's why I say maybe 15, 20 years. It could be longer than that. It could be shorter than that. I don't really know. We never really will know until it's all over the place. But till then, what you need to think about is the future. So what is the future? Well, the future is this. There is going to be autonomous vehicles at some point in time. It's going to take a generation or two of people to grow up not getting used to not having to drive a car before really a lot of people are going to want to do it. Because honestly, there's a bunch of people I know that say, you know what, I wouldn't take an autonomous vehicle. I don't want to get in a car without a driver. I don't feel safe without a driver. I don't trust a computer. So there's a lot of people that will not get into vehicles. Then whether they will ever need one or not, well, that's up for debate. I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't have a choice. I don't know. But the thing about it is this, right? What can you do about the future? Well, I always try to tell you guys, quit complaining and try to think about a solution. Well, what's the solution? Well, do Uber Premier, then do Uber Black, or whatever. If you got the money, do Uber Black. Get the commercial insurance. Do private rides. Save up your money. Well, when they come out with the robo-taxis, when they come out with the Waymos, with robo-taxis especially, you can purchase a few vehicles and then do your own fleet and then have them running around working, making money for you. Because as long as there's cars going around, there's going to be people that are going to need rides. There's always going to be a need for transportation. There's always going to be a need for somebody to get to work, to get to the store, to go to see a movie, to go see family, whatever. There's always going to be a need to travel. There's always going to be vehicles. So if it gets to the point where there are autonomous vehicles everywhere, well, save up your money and try to buy in some. Get you a fleet. Have them running around making money so you can sit back and sit at home and watch TV, or play with your kids, or go out with your wife, whatever you want to do. But think about the future. Post all these pictures, oh, Waymo's in Orlando. Okay, great, they're only testing. They're not giving rides. Look at Atlanta. It took me forever to even try to order a ride, and I wanted one. Now, I could have went out to Phoenix or somewhere where they got Waymo and probably had a better chance. But at the same time, yeah, they're not that expensive. They're not really that much. So people might try to order them. But honestly, a lot of people don't necessarily want to get into them. Some people would like to. But how often are you going to be able to if you have to order it through Uber? So in certain areas, it could be a little bit, take some of your clientele, but in other areas, it's just more drivers are out and about. You got new people signing up all the time. That's just how it is. So like and subscribe, guys. Honestly, Uber's not, or Waymo's not really going to be a threat for at least 15 years. I'd say 15, 20 years. Leave a comment below. I want to know how long you think. And like and subscribe, guys. Don't forget Gridwise. That'll help you at least till the point of autonomous vehicles come about, you know. Use that Gridwise. It helps. It's an affiliate link. I do appreciate it. And then if you need any of those products from Amazon, they're in the description too. So thank you, guys. I tried. Maybe I'll go back up there and see if I can't get in one at some point, but I gotta wait till this suspicious activity comes off the account in order to be able to order a ride, period, or even order some Uber Eats, because at the moment I can't even get Uber Eats. So we'll see what happens. So thank you, guys. So if you're watching, the road to driverless cars for rideshare is a lot longer than you think. It's a lot longer than the headline suggests. You got to remember, a lot of times when the headlines say stuff, it's just for a story. Doesn't always mean it's true. You got to do your own research, or you can watch my show and I'll do the research for you. I definitely try my best. So like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Thank you.